What's going on? Brian Tong here, and welcome to the Apple Bits for everything good and bad inside the world of Apple. And we've got a flurry of iPhone stories, so just buckle up and let's jump into those right now, because the latest report from a Wedbush analyst is getting some buzz with another claim that the iPhone 13 could finally include a 1 terabyte storage option for some models. Now, most likely it would be the iPhone Pro models, and LiDAR scanners will be on every iPhone across the lineup this year, according to them. We've heard the LiDAR scanner reports from others, and John Prosser's earlier said that the 2021 iPhone lineup would feature a 1 terabyte storage option as well. The only mobile Apple device with that capacity today is the iPad Pro. But with the commitment to Apple's ProRAW format, those are roughly 10 times or more larger in size than Apple's current high-efficiency image file or the JPEG format. It makes sense to finally get to a terabyte storage, and that would allow me to put so many more dig pics on my phone. Because I love seeing how paleontologists dig up dinosaurs. Did you know that in January of this year, paleontologists found what they consider to be the first preserved dinosaur butthole in perfect condition? And I know we all have unique hobbies, and dig pics are one of mine. And even before this report, people have been wanting more storage on the iPhone. 1 terabyte has been rumored even on last year's iPhone, but it's also going to cost you, so we'll see if it happens. Now, there are so many rumor reports and leaks and tweaks to what we could see this year, but all the changes we've heard will still be subtle improvements. This is still more of a 12S year than another major upgrade, and that's no surprise. Ming-Chi Kuo now reports that all iPhone 13 models will feature a smaller notch, and the 2 Pro models will have the low-power LTPO display technology that will enable Apple to implement a 120Hz refresh rate display. Other reports have pointed to a potential upcoming ProMotion display like the iPad Pro has, but this would be on an OLED display for the iPhone. Now, another new nugget: Kuo claims all iPhones this year will feature larger battery capacities compared to the iPhone 12. With space-saving moves Apple's made, like integrating the SIM card slot within the logic board and reducing the thickness of some of the Face ID components, this larger battery will also make it heavier. Kuo is dismissing reports that all iPhones will have the rear LiDAR scanner and says it will remain limited to the iPhone 13 Pro models. Now, we are still expecting to see the same 4 sizes available for the iPhone, from the Mini to the Pro to the Pro Max, with faster processors as well as 5G connectivity for all. Now, all iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max models are also expected to bring an improved ultra-wide lens with the sensor shift optical image stabilization feature that was first on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. That sensor shift stabilization will come to both the wide and ultra-wide lens for the 13 Pro and Pro Max, and the new lenses will also include autofocus. Now, earlier reports claimed that sensor shift optical image stabilization was coming to every iPhone 13, at least for the wide angle. Plus, reports also claim the iPhone 13 Pro models will have an improved ultra-wide lens with a wider f1.8 aperture that will allow more light to come in compared to its current f2.4 on the iPhone 12 Pro model. So we've got a lot of stuff out there about the cameras. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. It also wasn't too long ago that Kuo claimed at least one of the high-end iPhones would feature the first portless iPhone design. I talked about it in my videos too, but he's now saying there will be no portless iPhones in 2021. That has been squashed, so don't hold on to hope for that. In fact, he went even further to say that Apple will keep the Lightning connector on the iPhone for the foreseeable future, and they have no intention of switching over to USB-C. Even if the entire industry has pretty much done it by now, and even if many of their own projects like the iPad Pro, MacBook Air, and MacBook Pro connect via USB-C. Now, Kuo says Apple is reluctant because they can regulate quality control of Lightning connectors with their cables and accessories through their Made for iPhone program. Apple is also not too hot on making the switch because USB-C is a free open standard that is less waterproof than Lightning, according to Kuo. And the most important thing, it's also a big revenue generator for them because third-party manufacturers pay Apple a commission to make Lightning cables and accessories. We even saw with the iPhone 12 that they would rather include a Lightning to USB-C cable and push you to buy a USB-C charger if you want faster charging. You know, I wasn't too happy about that in my review of the iPhone 12s, and I'm still not. Kuo says even if it's not happening this year, Apple would likely switch directly to a portless model instead of first making a change to USB-C on the iPhone before going portless, because it would eliminate that revenue stream for them. Now, wireless charging still isn't anywhere close to displacing a wired port for most people, and MagSafe doesn't have the ability to transfer data or help with device recovery or even take diagnostics. Also, the reality is that people aren't going to all of a sudden just stop buying an iPhone because it doesn't have a USB-C port. Do you see that happening? Yeah, no, nobody does. So we could be seeing Lightning for a whole lot longer because it just makes business sense for Apple. Now, we talked about Apple working behind the scenes on a potential iPhone 12 MagSafe battery pack that was first reported by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. Jon Prosser has added that one version of the battery pack will feature reverse charging. According to him, Apple is working on two versions. So there's one that's a standard battery pack, and another is a premium version with reverse charging, which could allow it to charge AirPods or even an Apple Watch while it's connected on the other side to the iPhone 12. Now, it was recently revealed in the iOS 14.5 Beta 2 that a mention for battery pack was discovered in the code. In Gurman's previous report, he said due to software issues, it's still in development and could come later this year or maybe not come to market at all. And we've talked about this year's iPhone that is still, what, at least 6 to 7 months away from being officially announced. But what about iPhones even further down the line? According to another report from Ming-Chi Kuo, some of the 2022 iPhone models will finally abandon the notch and switch to a punch hole display design similar to what we've seen from Samsung's Galaxy smartphone lineup. Yeah, we are talking about iPhones in 2022. He said we'll see them in the iPhone Pro models in 2022 at the minimum, but if Apple is able to produce enough, the entire lineup could see the punch hole camera design. There were no details about how Face ID would work for this specific model or if it would use an under-display facial recognition system similar to what we've seen from ZTE. We also know Apple's been testing in-display fingerprint scanners, and there have been rumors that the iPhone could maybe even see it potentially as early as this year, but this is where the report gets a little funny because Kuo adds on that if development stays on schedule and we look, here we go, as far down as 2023, I know, I'm rolling my eyes, you're rolling your eyes, but stick with me, okay? According to Kuo, at least one new high-end iPhone will feature an under-display fingerprint scanner, a periscope telescope camera for a higher optical zoom, a full-screen display design with no notch, and a 120Hz display refresh rate. In case that sounds familiar, you can get all of that right now with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Like, you can just jump online right now and order one today if you want. You don't have to wait for almost 3 years. But let's jump onto that time machine into the future that is, okay, Apple in 2023. This was a deep, in-depth report, but according to Kuo, he has another note covering the iPhone and beyond. He says that Apple could possibly release a 7.5 to 8-inch foldable iPhone in 2023 if they can solve key technology and mass production issues this year. Now, the long-rumored foldable iPhone has not officially started to move forward, and it's still in the early research stage. We've heard how Apple is evaluating foldable screen samples and designs from both Samsung and LG with their own foldable OLED display technology, but they are still nowhere close to having a vision or a clear idea for it, and they could still kill this foldable iPhone project. So in case you thought 2021 was the year you'd see it, you might not even see it at all, and really the foldable I'm looking forward to is Samsung's Z Fold 3. That's where all the action is. Now, Apple has also released the third betas for iOS 14.5 and iPadOS 14.5. We've covered a lot of the new features with being able to unlock your phone while wearing an Apple Watch. That's one of them. Support for 5G dual SIM mode compatibility worldwide. You also have AirPlay 2 support for Apple Fitness Plus on other TVs and so much more. But one nugget that reveals what could be coming: inside the Find My app of iOS 14.5's third beta, there's a new mention for support for accessories where users will be able to track non-Apple products like your backpack or luggage, headphones, or other items. They state that explicitly, and this points directly to the new AirTag item trackers getting closer and closer to being ready for release alongside the release of 14.5 with support for ultra wideband to get extremely accurate locations for your tagged items. We've just known about them for over a year or so. And you know, March is here, and I did a breakdown of what we expect to see from Apple this spring, and AirTags is one of those things, so you can check out that video because I said so. Okay, everyone? That's going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell ding to get all my videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my Apple Bits XL audio podcast to get the latest deep dive with all these stories and new ones every week with special guests. Thanks so much for watching. March season, it's a coming. I will see you next time. Keep on coming back, y'all. Take care and be safe. Peace.